If I'd known that one white envelope would cost me my job, my savings, and maybe my life, I never would have opened it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. It was a Thursday evening in late August, the kind of humid Texas night where the air sits on your skin like a damp towel. I was in my kitchen in South Austin, standing over a skillet of sizzling chicken, when I heard the knock. 3 sharp raps. Impatient. Familiar. I wiped my hands on a dishcloth and walked to the door, already feeling that twist in my stomach that only family can give you. Through the peephole, I saw her, Rebecca, my older sister, dressed in a charcoal blazer and pressed slacks like she'd just stepped out of a courtroom, even though I knew for a fact she worked from home selling skincare on Instagram. I opened the door. She didn't smile, didn't say hello, just walked past me into the apartment, heels clicking on the hardwood, and set her designer purse on my kitchen table with the kind of authority that said, "This is mine now." "Rebecca," I said, closing the door. "What are you?" "You owe me, Megan." I blinked. "Excuse me?" She reached into her purse and pulled out a white envelope. Thick. Official-looking. She slid it across the table toward me like a lawyer serving a subpoena. "Open it." I stared at her, then at the envelope. My name wasn't on it. Just a university logo in the corner. University of Texas at San Antonio. "Rebecca, what is this?" "Open it." I picked it up. My hands were still warm from cooking. I pulled out the papers inside and scanned the first page. Invoice. Due. September 1st. Total amount, $15,000. Tuition deposit. Dorm fees. Meal plan. A laptop bundle. All under one name, Chase Lane. My nephew. I looked up at her. "This is Chase's college bill." "Yes." "And you brought it to me because—" She crossed her arms, tilting her head like I was slow. "Because you're going to pay it." I let out a breath that was half laugh, half disbelief. "Rebecca, I'm not paying $15,000 for your son's college." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm really not." Her jaw tightened. She leaned forward, palms flat on the table. "Megan, you've got no kids. No husband. No mortgage. You make good money. What's $15,000 to you?" "It's my money." "Your family," she snapped. "That's what family does. We help each other." I set the envelope down carefully, keeping my voice calm. "Rebecca, I've helped you before. I loaned you $3,000 for your car. I paid for Mom's medications last year when you said you were tight. I've never asked for any of it back. And that's exactly why you should do this." I stared at her. "That's not how this works." "Chase deserves this opportunity," she said, voice rising. "He got into UTSA. He worked hard. Are you really going to be the reason he can't go?" "I'm not the reason for anything. You're his mother. This is your responsibility." Her face flushed. "You know what? I thought you'd changed. I thought maybe you'd grown up and stopped being so selfish. But you're still the same spoiled little girl who got everything handed to her." I felt the old anger flare, but I swallowed it down. "I think you should leave." She grabbed her purse and stood, eyes blazing. "Fine. But don't come crying to me when you need something, Megan. Don't you dare." She turned and stormed toward the door, heels sharp as gunshots. And that's when I heard it. Her phone. On speaker. A voice crackling through. "Rebecca? Rebecca, honey, are you still there?"
"Mom."
Rebecca paused at the door, phone in hand, and spoke in a low, tight voice. "Don't worry, Mom. After it's done, Megan won't say no again." My blood went cold. "What did you say?" I called out. But Rebecca didn't turn around. She opened the door and walked out, letting it slam behind her. I stood there in the middle of my apartment, heart hammering in my chest, staring at the closed door. After it's done. After what's done. I locked the door, checked it twice, walked back to the kitchen where the envelope still sat on the table, mocking me. Outside, the cicadas screamed in the trees. And somewhere in the distance, I heard a car engine start. 3 days after Rebecca left, I woke up to a notification I didn't understand. "Low balance alert. Your checking account has fallen below $500. I sat up in bed, squinting at my phone screen in the pre-dawn light.
That couldn't be right.
I'd had over $8,000 in that account on Monday. It was Friday. I opened my banking app with shaking fingers. Balance, $447.32. My stomach dropped. I scrolled through the transaction history, eyes racing over the entries. There, Wednesday night, 11:47 p.m. A wire transfer, $7,500. Sent to an account I didn't recognize. And below that, charges I never made. A flight to Miami. 2 nights at a Marriott. Rental car. All booked under my name. All charged to my credit card.
No.
No. I called the bank. Waited on hold for 12 minutes, pacing my bedroom in my pajamas while an automated voice promised me my call was important. Finally, a representative picked up. I explained everything. The unauthorized transfer. The fraudulent charges. The fact that I hadn't been to Miami in my life. "Let me pull up your account, Ms. Lane," the woman said, her voice professionally sympathetic. There was typing. A pause. "I see the transactions you're referring to. According to our records, these were all initiated from your home IP address using your saved login credentials." That's impossible. I didn't. The security questions were answered correctly. The device fingerprint matches previous logins from your account.
My mouth went dry.
Someone else must have used my computer. "Has anyone else had access to your home recently?" Rebecca. She'd been here last week. She'd sat at my kitchen table for 20 minutes while I'd answered a work call in my bedroom. My laptop had been on the counter. "I need to file a fraud report," I said. "Of course. I'm flagging your account now. But Ms. Lane, I have to tell you, if the investigation shows the transactions originated from your devices and your network, you may be liable." I hung up feeling sick.
My work laptop.
I needed to check my work laptop. I searched my apartment, the living room, my bedroom, the kitchen counter where I always left it.
Gone.
My heart was racing now. I called my office, got transferred to IT. "Yeah, Megan," the tech said. "Your laptop was reported missing yesterday. HR flagged it because there was some unusual activity on your login Tuesday night." "What kind of activity?" "Unauthorized access to payroll systems. Someone tried to initiate transfers using your credentials." The room tilted. "I didn't do that. I'm just telling you what was flagged.
You need to talk to HR.
They sent you an email." I opened my work email on my phone with trembling hands. There it was. Subject: account locked due to fraud investigation. "Ms. Lane, your network access has been suspended pending an internal investigation into unauthorized financial transfers. Please contact Human Resources immediately." I couldn't breathe. This wasn't random. This wasn't some hacker halfway across the world. This was deliberate. This was someone who knew me. Someone who'd been in my home. I called my mother. "Mom, something's happening. Someone's stealing from me. Someone." "Megan, sweetheart, slow down."
What are you talking about?
I told her everything. The bank. The charges. My missing laptop. The fraud investigation at work. There was a long silence. "Mom, are you sure you didn't just forget? You've been stressed, honey. You work so hard." "I didn't forget $7,000, Mom." "Well, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should talk to someone. A therapist or—" "Mom, Rebecca was here last week. She had access to everything." Another pause. Colder this time. "Rebecca wouldn't do that." "How do you know?" "Because she's your sister." Her voice was sharp now. "And frankly, Megan, this sounds like paranoia." I hung up before I said something I'd regret. But then my phone buzzed. A text. From Rebecca. "You really should have helped, sis." My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the phone. Have you ever trusted someone so deeply, believed in them so completely, only to realize they'd been planning your downfall the whole time? That every smile, every conversation, every moment of closeness was just them measuring you for a grave? That's what it felt like. I was about to put the phone down when another notification appeared. Not a text this time. An email. From my bank. Subject: beneficiary update confirmation. You have successfully added a new beneficiary to your account, Rebecca Lane. I stared at the screen.
Beneficiary.
My life insurance. My savings. My retirement account. Beneficiary of what? I whispered. And then I understood. She wasn't trying to steal my money. She was positioning herself to inherit it. The letter arrived on Saturday. Plain white envelope. No return address. Just my name typed across the front in sterile black ink. I opened it standing in my kitchen, still in my bathrobe, coffee going cold on the counter. Policy confirmation. Estate of Megan Lane. My hands went numb. Estate. That's what they call you when you're dead. I read it twice. Then a third time because my brain refused to process the words. Dear Ms. Lane, this letter confirms the recent update to your life insurance policy, #LL 8847392. Coverage amount, $500,000. Beneficiary, Rebecca Lane's sister. Effective date, September 8th. I hadn't updated anything. I hadn't even thought about my life insurance in 2 years. But there it was. My signature at the bottom of the attached form. My driver's license number. My home address. All correct. All mine. Except I never signed it. I grabbed my laptop from the couch and opened it so fast I nearly cracked the screen. My hands were shaking. I logged into my insurance portal, praying it was a mistake, some clerical error, a glitch.
But no.
There it was. Updated beneficiary. Rebecca Lane. Sole recipient. Someone had accessed my account. Used my credentials. Forged my approval. I checked my email. Searched for any confirmation messages I might have missed. Nothing in my inbox. But in my trash folder, dozens of automated emails. All from the past week. All marked as read. Your policy has been updated. Beneficiary change confirmed. Thank you for choosing Secure Life Insurance. I hadn't read a single one. Someone had deleted them. Covered their tracks. My screen flickered. Just for a second. A black flash, then back to normal. I froze. It happened again. The cursor moved on its own, just a twitch, then stopped. No, I whispered. I slammed the laptop shut and backed away from it like it was alive. That's when I saw it. A shadow. Outside my window. It passed quickly, just a silhouette against the streetlight, but it was there. Someone standing on the sidewalk. Watching. I rushed to the window and pulled the curtain back. Empty street. Parked cars. Nothing. But my security camera. The little red light on the corner of my porch. It was blinking. On and off. On and off. It never blinked like that. I grabbed my phone and opened the camera app. It took forever to load. When it finally did, the feed was black. Connection error. Please check your network. My Wi-Fi was fine. Everything else worked. Someone had disabled it. I couldn't stay here. I threw on jeans, grabbed my keys, and drove to the police station on East 7th Street. I walked in at 9:30 a.m., still shaking, and asked to file a report. The officer behind the desk was polite but detached. Mid-40s. Looked like he'd heard every story twice. I told him everything. The envelope. The stolen money. The fraudulent bookings. The life insurance policy I never authorized. My sister's threat. The car outside my house. He wrote it all down. Then he looked up at me. Ms. Lane, I understand this is distressing. But without proof of intent, without evidence that someone is planning to harm you, there's not much we can do. Identity theft is a civil matter. You'll need to work with your bank and insurance company. She threatened me. Did she say she was going to hurt you? She said I'd regret it. She said after it's done. That's not a direct threat. I stared at him. She's stealing my identity. She made herself my beneficiary. Doesn't that tell you something? It tells me you should change your passwords and maybe get a lawyer. I left the station feeling hollow. No one was coming to help me. No one believed me. I was alone in this. If this happened to you, if someone you trusted turned your own life into a weapon against you, would you even know what to do? Would you see it coming before it was too late? I drove home in silence, watching every car behind me, every shadow on the sidewalk. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat on my couch with the lights on, staring at my phone, refreshing my security camera feed over and over. At 2:43 a.m., it finally loaded. And there it was. A silver Honda Accord, parked across the street. Engine off. Headlights dark. Rebecca's car. She was just sitting there, watching. I left Austin before sunrise. Threw a duffel bag in my trunk, clothes, laptop, charger, nothing else, and drove south on I-35 toward San Antonio. No plan. Just distance. I paid cash for an Airbnb in Southtown, a small studio above a coffee shop. I registered under a fake name, Sarah Mills, and turned off my phone the moment I locked the door behind me. For 3 days, I disappeared. I didn't check email, didn't scroll social media, didn't answer calls from my mother or texts from coworkers asking where I was. I just sat in that quiet room, eating takeout with plastic forks, and waited for the fear to stop clawing at my chest. On the third night, I finally turned my phone back on. 47 missed calls. 62 texts. And then I saw the news alert. Austin woman reported missing. Family fears worst. My hands went numb. I clicked the article. There was my face. My driver's license photo plastered across the homepage of KXAN. And below it, a quote from my sister. "We just want her home safe. Megan has been struggling lately, and we're worried she might do something irreversible. Rebecca." She'd reported me missing. I scrolled further. The article said my car had been found abandoned near Lady Bird Lake, that a typed note had been recovered from my apartment, a suicide note, expressing feelings of hopelessness and isolation. I never wrote that. My stomach twisted. I opened another tab and searched my name. The story was everywhere. Local news, Reddit threads, Facebook posts asking people to keep an eye out for me. And there she was again, Rebecca. In every interview, tearful, concerned, the grieving sister. She was trying to erase me. I grabbed my keys and drove straight to the Austin Police Department. When I walked through the doors at 11:47 p.m., the front desk officer did a double take. "I need to speak to someone about the missing person report filed under my name," I said. "Because I'm not missing." Within 20 minutes, I was sitting in an interrogation room across from 2 detectives, a woman in her 50s and a younger man with tired eyes. "Ms. Lane," the woman said carefully, "your sister filed a report 3 days ago." She was very concerned. I'm sure she was. I pulled out my phone and placed it on the table between us. "I need you to listen to something." I played the recording, the one I'd made the night Rebecca came to my apartment. Her voice, clear as day, on speakerphone with our mother.
"Don't worry, Mom.
After it's done, Megan won't say no again." The detectives exchanged a look.
There's more," I said.
I told them everything. The fraudulent charges, the cloned credentials, the life insurance policy, the letter addressed to my estate. "She's been setting this up for weeks," I said. "She was going to make it look like I killed myself. And then she'd collect." The older detective leaned back. "Do you still have the insurance documents?" "In my car." They brought Rebecca in 2 hours later. I watched through the glass as she walked into the station, still playing the role, mascara streaked, hands trembling, asking if they'd found me. Then they told her I was alive. Her face went blank. Just for a second.
But I saw it.
The mask slipped. They arrested her on charges of fraud, identity theft, and attempted insurance fraud. Read her rights while she stared at me through the window, silent and cold. I finally exhaled. It was over. I went back to the Airbnb that night and slept for 14 hours straight. When I woke up, the sun was streaming through the blinds, and for the first time in weeks, I felt safe. But the next afternoon, I got a call from the detective. "Ms. Lane, we need you to come back in."
"Why?"
"Did something happen?" There was a pause. "We found text messages on your sister's phone. She was communicating with someone. Contact names saved as R." My chest tightened. "What did they say?" Another pause. "Phase 2 starts when she's gone. Don't fail me this time." The phone slipped from my hand. Phase 2. Rebecca wasn't working alone. A week later, I was back in Austin. The apartment felt different now.
Smaller.
Like the walls had shifted while I was gone. I spent the first 2 days changing every password I had, installing new locks, setting up motion sensor alarms on every window. The police said I was safe. Rebecca was in custody, awaiting trial. The fraud investigation at my job had been dropped. My bank was working on recovering the stolen funds. Life was supposed to go back to normal. I almost believed it. On Thursday night, I made dinner. Nothing fancy, just pasta and a glass of wine, and settled onto the couch with a book I hadn't touched in months. The kind of quiet, boring evening I used to take for granted. I was 3 chapters in when my laptop screen lit up. I hadn't touched it, hadn't opened it. It was sitting on the coffee table, closed. But now it was open, glowing. My pulse quickened. I leaned forward slowly, like approaching a wild animal. The screen was black except for a single window. A text document, empty except for one line, typed in the center in white letters. You ruined her life. Now I'll ruin yours. My breath caught. The cursor blinked. Then another line appeared, letter by letter, like someone was typing in real time. Did you really think it was over? I lunged for the laptop and slammed it shut, heart hammering. I grabbed my phone and dialed Detective Ortiz, the woman who'd taken my statement. Someone's in my system, I said the moment she picked up. They just sent me a message. On my laptop. While I was sitting here. What did it say? I told her. I'm sending a unit to your location. Don't touch the computer. We'll need to trace the connection. 2 officers arrived within 15 minutes. A tech from the cybercrime unit came an hour later, a wiry guy in his 30s with glasses and a laptop bag covered in stickers. He opened my computer, ran diagnostics, traced IP addresses. Whoever did this knew what they were doing, he said finally. They used a remote access tool. It's been on your system for at least 2 weeks. They've had full access, files, camera, keystrokes. Everything. My stomach turned. Can you trace them? He nodded. Give me a few minutes. I sat on the couch, arms wrapped around myself, while he worked. Finally, he looked up. Got it. The connection originated from a dorm network. University of Texas at San Antonio. My blood went cold. UTSA? Yeah. I've got a device ID and a registered user. He turned the screen toward me. Registered user, Chase Lane. I couldn't breathe. That's my nephew. Detective Ortiz's expression darkened. She made a call. Spoke in clipped, urgent tones. Hung up. We're sending officers to his dorm now. But I already knew what they'd find. Nothing. 2 hours later, Ortiz called me back. His room's empty. Clothes gone. Laptop gone. Roommate says he left 3 days ago. Said he had a family emergency. His car. Also missing. Silver Toyota Camry, Texas plates. She paused. Megan, we're putting out a bolo. But until we locate him, I'm not safe. I'm assigning a patrol to your street tonight. Keep your doors locked. Call me if anything happens. I hung up and sat in the dark, staring at my phone. Chase. The quiet kid who'd always been polite at family dinners. Who'd hug me at graduations and thank me for birthday cards. He'd been watching me, planning this, using his own mother as a distraction while he pulled the strings. Rebecca wasn't the mastermind. She was the decoy. I thought about the college bill, the $15,000, the way she'd shoved it at me with that cold, entitled stare. Had Chase told her to do it? Had he planted the idea? Or had she known all along? At 11:34 p.m., my security camera pinged. Motion detected. I opened the app with shaking hands. A car. Silver. Idling under the street lamp across from my building. Headlights off. Engine running. I couldn't see the driver. Just the faint glow of a phone screen inside. My heart was in my throat. The car sat there for 30 seconds. A minute. 2. Then the engine revved. Once. Twice. A warning. My phone buzzed. A text. Unknown number. I opened it. You should have paid the bill, Aunt Megan. The car's headlights flared to life. And it started moving. Toward my building.